just to clear it up, I was listening to Alex Jones in the background while I was working on the film before the show, and he was giving kind of his religious views. And I've got to say that I do believe in intelligent design with, a tad bit of microevolution. For those who are familiar with the term or unfamiliar with it, really, they should go check out Ben Stein's documentary. It came out about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. I think it's called No Intelligence. And it's the case for intelligent design. And it really spends a large section talking about eugenics and the devaluation of humanity, but then really takes on evolution as it's taught in the schools and does a great job of not only debunking it, but maybe people that are on the fence or have always thought one way to open up their mind. And I've always been a fan of Ben Stein. I loved his show on Comedy Central, When Ben Stein's Money. Obviously, a classic in Ferris Bueller's Day Off and many other great cameo appearances. All right, let's go back to Mark in Georgia. Mark, what's on your mind?
Well, I'll tell you what. I will say, I will commend, if by agnostic, like Gerald Celente saying I'm a political agnostic. The reason why I'm calling is, I don't know, this is before your time. You may have been, I don't remember when Richard Pryor did a movie called Brewster's Millions. Well,
I remember Brewster's Millions.
$230 million in 30 days.
So he could get $300 million.
Basically, what's that? Yeah,
so he could get $300 million. Yeah, he had to spend
Exactly.
$30 million in 10 days to get $300 million. He had to spend every cent of it, and then he got this huge fortune. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, the thing is, he had to have nothing to show for it. And I believe it was 30 days, not 10 days. But the point being is, he saw a political campaign where both the candidates were, the news was reporting, they're spending obscene amount of money for this political campaign. So he went into a political campaign of his own where he advocated, don't vote for either one of these scoundrels. They're both a couple of crooks. And really, why are you doing this? And he wasn't advocating don't vote for anyone. He said, just don't vote for these rascals. And I'd like for that, with the Tea Party movement, I hear they're having a New Year's Eve party, and I'm going to write something up, print some copies. Well, I'm going to say, let's have that as a slogan. We need to have some real debate about what the Republicans are not going to address. And the issue is the corruption that both parties have in common. And basically, we're not committed to this position or that position. It's like we're committed to having an honest debate that we were cheated of just last year. And let's look at the issues, and if we don't agree, that's okay, but let's at least have an honest understanding of what the issues and the solutions that need to be explored, because typically a lot of the stuff that's going on is just for people who are choosing between arsenic and cyanide. I think that's what it's called a Hobson's choice, where, like the salesman says, would you prefer to pay cash or check, rather than asking, do you even want to buy it at all, So I think,
I would just like to say this. The establishment has done just a great job of really telling the people out there that third-party candidates cannot win. There has not been a huge third-party candidate, say, since really Jesse Ventura winning the governorship, when Ross Perot actually did shake up the media and the establishment by running against Clinton and Bush the first time. They severely restricted him in the debates the next time around, and then just took third-party candidates out altogether. So I think if we really want to see another choice, we have to get together and say we want third-party candidates to be included in these debates. We have to go to our state legislator. We have to go to our federal officials and start saying, look, this is what we want. If you want to be a voice of the constituents, of the people, we want third-party candidates. And if you want to keep your job, maybe you should get in line with some of those third-party values. I thank you for the call, Mark. Let's move on to the next caller. Let's go to Fidel in Wisconsin. Fidel, you're on the line.
Hey,
yes, sir.
Jason. I called in last week, and I asked you about Bill Cooper. And you really didn't give me a chance to talk, but I wanted to point out some of the inaccurate statements that you made. First of all, you
look,
said
I'm going to let you go, Fidel. I'm not going to make my show about Bill Cooper every week. There was not one inaccurate statement that I made, okay? And I don't know why, if you're listening to me, if you disagree so much with what I say and what I do. I told you I think that the guy had some value. I told you I think that people should listen to some of his lectures, go check out his books. But the things that were in his books, such as, Jesus being sacrificed on a cross on a hologram from aliens talking to officials from the United States. That's in his book. He doesn't say it happened surefire, but he said it enough to put it in his book, didn't he? And when he said that the Bilderberg Group meets at the polar ice caps in a submarine, they don't do that. Okay, there's zero evidence for that. When he said that he was sure that William Greer shot Kennedy in the head, no, there's one fuzzy video that suggests that he looked over his shoulder and maybe shot him. I mean, there's one frame there. So please don't call into the show trying to make it about me versus Bill Cooper. I like a lot of what Bill did. I just don't make this show about aliens and, just ridiculous stuff. We're talking Copenhagen Climate Treaty here. Okay, buddy? We're talking Mumbai suspect is U.S. double agent, India claims. This is something I haven't really gotten to talk about since it broke this week. We have covered on the show that one of the suspects did have a cell phone that was registered to the Central Intelligence Agency, so there were obvious Western intelligence connections there. And now we have India officials claiming that the top guy worked for both an al-Qaeda terror group, Lashkar-e-Taiba, and the Central Intelligence Agency. They provoke the terror. They stage the events. They control the paradigms. They want infighting. They love that Fidel just called up to my program to gripe about a way, I talked about somebody last week. Most viewers and listeners don't even know what he's talking about. Go check out the show last week. Hell of a show. All right, let's go to Mark in Oregon. Mark, you're on the line.
Hey, Jason.
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey. On the ball.
Thank you.
Jason, you're most welcome. Back, year before last, I believe it was, and it may have been the year before that, but I believe I'm in the right time frame of the year before last. You may remember there was a whole large Arctic weather system that moved down from Alaska into us down here with similar effects as to what's happening on the East Coast, and I guess it's spread out to the Midwest. Now, we're just getting rain out here on the coast of Oregon, but I believe it's part of the same system. This system basically covers the country. And these evil clowns, they are so desperate that perhaps they don't want to approach desperation. They don't ever want to get in that position in a project on which the whole New World Order implementation agenda, it hangs. And they have moved the weather down to us that is going to convince us that we're not in global warming anymore. This is control of the weather paradigm. No, we're in climate change. They're going to bring in some of the most radical weather for the next month or two, or however long it takes, until they get the desired effect, excuse me, where they actually have the vibration set between all of the conscious vibration and the collective conscious of all of the individuals on the planet, a planetary consciousness where resistance in the public sector, and it'll be reflected right up. It works this way every time. It's like Karl Rove said several years, I think.
We create the reality.
Yes, they control reality, and it's he's really no BS in that, and he knows wherever he speaks. And of course, you're aware that William Cohen, Defense Secretary for Clinton, back in I believe it was 97, he talked about weather control, and we know weather control is a fact. And if they would ever use it, they would use it in a situation such as this. So to sum up, it just really shows how dead serious they are. And, obviously, because as I've said, of course, their whole implementation of the New World Order, as they see it, depends on getting this through. And it's so doggone in your face, wrong. They don't care. They figure they got the power. And, as we continue on with wonderful people like yourself and Alex exposing them, I hope we can turn them around. There's certain things in our favor, and one of them is that we can see the lies right on the surface of it. And more people are seeing it all the time because it's so blatant to start with. And, we have some really good truth tellers out there that are, to finish with.
Well, let me talk about something that to me, really does give me a boost. It says, humanity is not down and out. There are some free thinkers still out there, and I thank you for the call, Mark.